Hi, I'm Stacy Wall. I have the privilege this year of being Rotary's 100th president. Our theme this year is a century of service. We could not be more proud to represent this community with 100 years of service. During this celebration, we decided to make this video to capture the memories, to capture the reasons why we are Rotarians. And I have to say that every time I saw someone express their memory or their feelings about Rotary, I learned something new, including when we became Rotarians 100 years ago. It was because the business community wanted to help the community out from the flood of 1913. And since then, we have been helping the community, whether it be the school children or people in need, with all sorts of resources. We read to the Nickelin children every week. We provide every child with a book for their birthday. We're now really helping with dental care in the community. And this summer, we really participated with the Salvation Army in the very basic need in our community of food and served food on that food truck. We believe in giving back. Our motto has been service above self, and we truly believe that. We try to give our children in this community the opportunity that many of us have, but they may not. We give scholarships every year. We provide opportunities for speech contests and opportunities just to visit and learn about the business community so that maybe they can come back to our community and be part of those businesses and get employment and see how it is not just to be a professional, but to serve. Giving back to our community is what really we are about. And we couldn't be more proud than to be here 100 years later saying we are going to continue to serve Piqua in the area in need. Our international theme this year is Light Up Rotary. If every person lights one candle, no one sits in darkness. And we've taken on that theme to light up Piqua. We can all do our part to serve the community and understand that the Rotarians are there to support everyone in need. We welcome the challenge that we have in this community to keep serving, and we believe we'll be here 100 years later. Thank you for this opportunity, and happy birthday, Rotary.
Hi, I'm Eric Marcus. I'm the District Governor for Rotary District 6670, which encompasses Southwest Ohio. I'm here today because I'm talking about the 100th anniversary of the Piqua Rotary Club. Turning 100 is really a remarkable experience, and I really look forward to it myself. But the Piqua Rotary Club has accomplished it this month. Rotary is an organization of like-minded individuals all over the world and right here in our own community, doing good things for people all around the world. This year, our national theme is Light Up Rotary. What we are looking to do is to light up the world, make the world a better place to live. The Rotary International President Gary Huang quotes from Confucius, whom he claims is the world's first Rotarian, even though he lived more than 2,000 years ago. And he says that it is better to light a single candle than to sit and curse the darkness. We do that in Rotary. We light candles for people without hope. We light candles for people who want knowledge. We want candles for people who want clean water. Around the world, Rotary has done an awful lot to make the world a better place, whether it's water wells in third world countries or parks right here in our own communities. Rotary has single-handedly worked with numerous organizations around the world to help eradicate polio. Our dedication since 1984 to the eradication of polio has resulted in less than 200 cases a year for a disease that used to paralyze over 350,000 children a year. So as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Piqua Rotary Club. Let's all light up Rotary. Thank you.
This is Rick Haynes, Superintendent of Piqua City Schools. When we look at Rotary, it's a great organization, and looking back to the formation, one thing I appreciate is the fact that it does allow me as a professional to gather with friends and also gather with community members, community leaders, business leaders, industry leaders, and look carefully at some of the things that affect our community. It's bonding together at lunchtime and being able to have that informal discussion, but also being able to have some formal presentations about things and activities that go on in our community, in our region, in our state, and across the country. But also it allows us to really focus on what we can do here at Piqua and the difference that we all can make as individuals and also as an organization. So that's a wonderful aspect on a professional basis. Also, as superintendent of schools on a professional basis, I greatly appreciate the partnership that we have with Rotary. Rotary for many, many decades has been a strong partner of Piqua City Schools, especially in the last 15 years with working with the Nicklin Kindergarten Center. Rotary has had a special partnership with volunteers coming in and reading, volunteers coming in and passing out books for birthdays, and also books and certificates for the reading program that we have there. Most recently, Rotary has joined into the dental clinic, which we offer across our schools, but specifically helping out at Nicklin Learning Center. When we greet our kindergartners for the first time, we have Rotary members now present that help meet the needs and look carefully at that dental program. And the grant that Rotary went after to help support what our local dentists can do for the needs of our students with their dental hygiene has been greatly appreciated. Also at the high school level, Rotary does a phenomenal job with sponsoring Interact, which provides great opportunities for our students to be able to share and develop leadership talent, which is what we're all about on looking at how we can better make our youth ready for when they come out and take our places. Also at the high school level, Rotary offers a speech contest that basically, again, it provides an opportunity for our students to be able to share their talents and abilities with speech making and speech development and delivering those speeches. And it's a wide range of students, and we appreciate that opportunity. On a personal basis, Rotary has affected my family. Two of my sons had the opportunity to take place and participate in RILA, which is Rotary Youth Leadership Award, and they participated in that camp at Camp Kern and learned tremendous things from everything from leadership skills to also being able to develop themselves as individuals that can go out in the world and take on things and be able to handle themselves like many of the members of Rotary. And so across what we do on a professional basis, on a personal basis, the organization has been phenomenal, and I greatly appreciate and thank all of them for the celebration for the many years that Rotary has been affected. Piqua City Schools, our community, and also stretching out across the world for all the many members who have gone beyond Piqua and look carefully at contributing to the world.
Hi, I'm with you today to speak about Rotary, and specifically Piqua Rotary. And I have served as past president some 30-some years ago, and it gave me an opportunity to really get involved with Rotary and to appreciate the dynamics of this unique organization. And I can tell you that by design, this Rotary Club is to be diversified. It is imperative that we get a cross-section of different walks of life to make this organization work and work well. And what I came to realize was, in my leadership role, gave me a perfect opportunity to have an appreciation for the many talents that others have. We're all gifted with talents, and we cultivate those in various ways, but the unique part of Rotary is the broad-based foundation from which it draws its members just enables things to happen. And as president, I saw that on a local level. When things needed to get accomplished in this community, in Piqua, by George, the Rotarians were there in that fabric to make that issue get covered and to advance the dynamics of the city in a manner that only is unique to Rotary. And I'd have to share with you that I had an occasion to serve as president of the Piqua Rotary at the time that we had a district governor from our club that connected us very well with the global impact of the Rotary Club. And our district governor, Richard Adams, of course, drew our club into a different dynamic during that whole year on a couple of different levels. And at the time, Rotary International embraced the concept of helping to eradicate polio on the face of this earth. That's huge. That's a huge undertaking. And I would explain to you that Rotary clubs exist throughout this world. And if anything can happen globally, by George, Rotarians have the ability to pull that off. And so it was announced that we were going to get our arms around this disease. We allowed local clubs such as ours to participate financially. Many Rotarians were actively involved in getting the vaccinations throughout the world. And to this day, we are still fine-tuning it, and we have all but eliminated polio. And that big emphasis back in those years was the brainchild of Piqua Rotary and as a member of the whole Rotary International. So I will tell you that as my years with Rotary, I look back on, and I have generated many friendships, and I have an appreciation for many walks of life, and there is that common thread of stick-to-itiveness, of moral character with Rotarians. And there hasn't been a place I've visited and have found a Rotary Club that I've gone in that I haven't been received warmly, with much respect, and it's just been a tremendous impact. And you really get your eyes opened well beyond what we normally see from day to day. So I feel blessed to have been a Rotarian for so many years and have seen the Rotary Club in so many different activities. And I just wonder what the world would be if it weren't for a service organization that has a caliber of Rotary. So I appreciate you letting me share just a few thoughts with you, and to know that I have gotten much out of Rotary. I give back to Rotary, I always have, and it seems as though I always receive more than whatever I could contribute. So thanks for listening, and enjoy your day. Thank you.
I'm Jim Oda. I've been a member of the Piqua Rotary Club for the past 25 years. And today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the very beginnings of Rotary in Piqua. Started nationally in 1905 in Chicago and moved to Ohio by about, give or take about 1910 in Cincinnati. And in Cincinnati, they had some connections with some people up here in Piqua, and they knew about Rotary in Piqua. But the thing that really got Rotary off in our community is the 1913 flood. People came from everywhere to help, to volunteer, to help those that had suffered. We had well over 40 people die in that flood. It was a terrible, terrible disaster. But the businessmen in Piqua looked and saw, wow, we have people that volunteer, that work hard, that were really doing everything they could for those that had suffered this terrible catastrophe. And as things began to get back to normal, in about 1914, a number of gentlemen came together. William Leonard was the first person to really kind of get things going. And he said, we had all this volunteerism. Let's keep it going. So he talked to some other industrialists. He was head of the Piqua Hosiery Company, and he knew a lot of people in our community. And he got them all together, and he said, let's form a group. Well, several people said, well, I heard about this new Rotary. And one of the things that they are all about are bringing business leaders together to help the community. Well, that sounds like a good idea. They talked to some people down in Cincinnati. People in Cincinnati said, hey, that's great. We know how hard you people work up there. And so they came together, started a Rotary Club in 1914, had some meetings, and then they went to Chicago and said, we want to be chartered. And Chicago said, no, Rotary is only for big communities, not little communities. Well, that just made our fledgling club dig in its heels, and they had a letter writing campaign, and they went to Chicago to talk to the heads of Rotary there. And finally, I think just to get rid of us, they agreed to charter the first small town Rotary Club in the United States. And I think it was Leonard that said the darn best small town in the United States. He used a little more colorful language than that. But they did eventually get their charter in January of 1915, and they've been a Rotary Club ever since. Now, not everything was smooth sailing for Rotary, because at one point they decided to take July and August off, have a little vacation. Rotary, the district said, no, you can't do that. And we said, oh, fine. And we went ahead and did it. And then the international president says, no, you can't do that. And we said, fine, and continued to do it. For 15 years, we continued to have our own vacation, till finally, I believe that international said, if you still want your charter, you can't have vacations anymore. So we stopped doing that. But that was the last time that Piqua and the international ever clashed. And ever since then, we've supported international and national and regional and our community, everything from the very fledgling idea of I-75 in 1925 to band uniforms to just about anything that you can think of that's important to our community. At one point or another, Rotary has supported it. It's been a very strong club, a club that's had its ups and downs as far as numbers, but it is still a club that stays the line, helps our community, and is really unusual for a civic club to last 100 years.
I'm Cheryl Stoffel-Francis. I get to introduce myself first before my sister because I've been in the Rotary Club longer than she has, even though she's older, but only by a little bit.
You don't need to tell that to everybody, because in a couple years I'll be saying she's the older one.
Yeah, that's right. I serve as the Executive Director of the Miami County Foundation, and I'm proud to be a Piqua Rotarian.
And I'm Kathy Sherman. I'm the president of the Piqua Area Chamber of Commerce, and I am in Rotary because Cheryl inducted me several years ago.
So it's been fun to be in the Rotary Club together as siblings.
It's a great way to see each other.
Yes, exactly. So we try to make our way around and not sit together all the time, but sometimes we're just like magnetic. That's our personality. So we would love to just share with you why we enjoy serving in the Piqua Rotary Club, being a member. And you know, what I love about Rotary is that I'm a part of something bigger than me. And I know that we're able to accomplish more because we're in the club. That those are just two more individuals, two more bodies that are giving of their time, their talents, and their financial support to different organizations.
One of my best memories was when we were on 25A planting trees.
Okay.
And when we served the dinners at the Career Center every year.
Yes.
And that's my favorite because I get to see so many people.
You see so many people in the community. That's right. And I love reading at Nicklin. I love the opportunity to go and read to those kids. One year, I remember I went right around Halloween and I dressed up like a witch and I brought my little niece with me and we had this little skit that we were able to put together with a Halloween book, and it was so much fun. Those kids have a great time.
And see, you're creative like that.
So, well.
I walk into the birthday assemblies. That's where I love it.
Yes.
Because I get to see all of the AM or all of the PM kids all together. And how their teachers tell them when they walk up to get a book from the Rotarian that's there, to shake their hand and say thank you.
Yeah, and isn't it just great to know that you're in a club, but yet you can touch so many different people in our community with all of the events and the activities we're involved with, and the amount of money that we donate to organizations, whether it's to the schools, for different special events that are happening in our community.
Right.
I might not be able to do that as an individual, but I can certainly give money. I can certainly, sell tickets that collectively we can make a significant impact on a lot of these organizations that come to the Rotary Club asking for money. I love being a part of something bigger than me.
Yeah. And Cher hasn't told you yet, but she was the first female Rotarian president of the club.
That's kind of scary.
And
how
far back?
That was a long time ago. That was probably in 2001, somewhere around 2000, 2001.
That's pretty.
Yes,
That's
we've come
quite
a
an
long
accomplishment.
way, baby.
I was gonna say, and now you're really telling your age.
And another reason that I love Rotary too is that it's not just local. We are so international. And I get excited when I read our Rotarian newsletter, our magazine, and I read about all the other clubs throughout the world doing amazing projects. I get really emotional. I brought my water with me because I drink so much water during the day, we take it for granted. It just comes out of our tap. And the majority of the world, they don't have access to clean water. And I get excited that I can help build a well. I can't do it by myself, but I could support a Rotary Club that Rotary International is partnering with and build a well and bring water to people that might have to travel miles and miles just to pick up dirty water and take it home.
One a big thing that Rotarians do all across the world is the polio eradication.
Right, we are going to eradicate the world of polio. We couldn't do that alone.
No.
But we can be a part of that, we do.
Being in the United States is that polio really doesn't exist anywhere, but it really does.
Yes.
And at least as a club that we help to make that eradication happen. So, yeah, it's like you said, we're bigger. We're bigger together.
Exactly. And when I was introduced to Rotary, it was through Mike Yancey, and I thank him often for introducing me and proposing me into Rotary membership because it has stretched me beyond what I could ever imagine. It really takes you out of your comfort zone sometimes to sit at a table of people that you might not know, and now you just have so many friends. And it's nice to be able to go and sit and chat and meet some new people every week that you're there, learn something new. The programs are fabulous.
They are.
And it helps you build your leadership skills, your communication skills, and your friends.
And you're right, it takes you out of the comfort zone. But we all need to be out there.
We do. We need to be taken out
And
of
the
our
programs
comfort
are
zone.
always, I mean, you learn something. You think that you know when somebody comes in to talk about, maybe you know that person or you know the organization they're talking about, but really you don't know everything that there is to know.
No, no. So it's been fun. We're having fun together.
We are. You have anything else?
I don't.
Okay.
What about you?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm just happy to be a Rotarian and glad that my sister took me under her wings so many years ago in about 2002 when I
Okay.
came back into work in Piqua. Lived here all my life, but I've only worked here since about 2002 and became a Rotarian back then. So, thanks.
You're welcome.
In 1985, I was a Rotary exchange student from Zimbabwe to the Piqua, Ohio Club. It gave me such a wonderful opportunity to learn about the Piqua community as an exchange student, and needless to say, the rest is history. I love the Piqua community, and I love everything that it's done for me. I would not have had these opportunities had it not been for the Piqua Rotary Club. The passionate, hardworking people who are members of that club make the Piqua community stronger every single day by their tireless work and their very, very generous ways. I applaud the Rotary Club for their 100th birthday and anniversary and wish them another 100 fabulous years.
I'm Skip Murray,
And I'm Doug Murray.
and we're father-son Rotarians.
I thought I'd go back first of all, and since I'm the old guy of the two of us, I've been a member of Rotary here in Piqua for 42 years. I started when I moved to Piqua in 1972 and joined Rotary for many reasons, one of which is I wanted to find out who the business people were and the people that were leaders in the community. And over the years, since I've been a member for so long, I would say one of the successes of Rotary in our area has been the strong leadership. Of course, 42 years going by, most of the leaders that were leaders when I joined are no longer with us, of course. They've passed on, but it gave us a strong group of people who lead this club, and it continues, and I've been amazed to see that some of our younger people, how strong the leaders they become. Skip, when he got in line to become president, I was kind of interested for two reasons. One, I wanted to see how he would handle the leadership and how he would approach the job, and was very pleased to see that he took time to discuss with his board what the goals should be for the year. He verbally outlined them, and then he put them in writing on top of it to make sure all the club members could see what he was thinking about doing. As his father, I was pleased to say that he has had a strong year. He had good leaders with him, good committee people, and continued the role of making us a sound club for the year. One of the things I did want to mention is it was kind of unique. He was faced with a problem this past year that I saw the other side of the problem many years ago, roughly 40 years ago, when we decided in the community to have a festival. I happened to be president of the Chamber of Commerce when we made that decision, which is a couple years after I was president of Rotary. And we made a trip to Urbana to see a guy who was operating a steam engine to steam corn, and decided that was going to be our project. Some 40 years later, when Skip was president, the club learned that the steam engine that we used to get was no longer available, and after looking around to
see if they could find another steam engine that was determined that it was not going to be available. And he was faced with the prospect of taking that program and replacing it with something else as a good revenue enhancer for the club. And I thought he and the board did a great job in what they came up with, and allowed us to continue with what is a strong programs that we have in the community put on by Rotary. The other thing that I wanted to mention is, back when I was president, one of the goals that we had was to restart the International Student Exchange Program, which had been basically lacking for a number of years when I became president. And I made a decision to ask Del Reynolds, a longtime Rotarian, if he would head that committee. And he did such a good job that he served as chairman of the district committee in Rotary International of our district in that area for many, many years, and we had an outstanding program. Skip was just a little boy when we our family took a student from Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe, of course, and when we had her with us, we determined with my wife that we were going to take a trip to Florida so she could see, among many other things, the Walt Disney area and a number of the cities in Florida. And so I was still quite young, of course, back then, and we took a van and pulled a trailer behind it and put a couple of tents in it and took off for Florida for 2 weeks. And Susan Harvey, the exchange student, and my wife Bonnie slept in the van, and I slept in one of the tents with our 4 children, and one of which was Kelly, was still in diapers. And so we had to lock the tent up every night to make sure she didn't crawl away. And that was, I don't know where Skip remembers any of that, but that was a long, long time ago. But what I wanted to point out is Rotary Exchange Students is a great program, and I hope we can get back into it. Skip?
Yeah, I mean, back in 2006 when I first started talking to Dad, I was pretty far along in my career at the time at Systemax, and wanted to expand my reach into the community, and certainly Dad and Mom, for that matter, was a great example of the way you can give back to the community. So I thought Rotary would serve me well, both as a networking opportunity to the local business people and non-profits and you know, the city leadership, etc. And so I got involved and asked Dad at that time, you know, what the process was, and he was certainly kind enough to sponsor me at that time. So I got involved and at first I just didn't know exactly what my role would be or how involved I wanted to be in Rotary, but again, through the examples set by others, I started to see that you know, you're going to get as much out of it as you put into it, and so I started to pursue some leadership opportunities and just worked my way up to the point where I was going to be vice president, and that 3-year process of eventually becoming president occurred, and I thought I didn't just want to be like any other president, wanted to try some new and different things, and as Dad stated, I think there's some great leadership in the club, both with our legacy members as well as the folks that are just getting involved, and you know, it's something that I can always tell Isabella, my daughter, that I can share with Dad, that we're a legacy of father, son, and we both served as the Piqua Rotarian president. So there's probably not a lot of people, even in our 100 years of service, that we've provided to this community that can say that. So that's something certainly that I cherish. And then there's you know, the programs that we get involved in terms of the kindergarten program that we support here locally, and expanded that into the Miami County Dental Clinic. And I went to some leadership, Rotary leadership meetings, and one of the things that everybody always talked about was the Rotary aha moment, and I didn't really have one. I didn't think I ever really had one. And we got involved in the Miami County Dental Clinic and determined that we were going to do that in conjunction with kindergarten and our program that we had already generated much success from. And part of that was volunteering and being there during the kindergarten registration while the Miami County Dental Clinic did basically some oral exams of these some of these 5- and 6-year-old kids. And it didn't take but a couple exams to look down into some of those mouths and to see the amount of cavities and the pain that some of those kids must have been in, to know just how much good was coming from our partnership with the Miami County Dental Clinic. And at that point, that became my aha moment. That's the reason why I got involved in Rotary initially, was those service initiatives that we could do, those partnerships that we could get involved in, so that we could better serve not only the community here locally, but obviously with Polio Plus and some of the international things that Rotary International is involved in. It's just it's just been a very rewarding experience, and it's made even better by the fact that I get to share that with Dad, and get to share a lunch meeting every Tuesday with him if I need to, and I certainly look forward to not only the things that I've already done in Rotary, but I look forward to the things that are coming, and the additional things that we'll be able to share in the years to come.
I'm Dick Adams. I'm a Piqua Rotarian, and I'm going to reflect a bit about the 41 years that I've been a Rotarian. I think back to the year that I served as president. It was a great year, an enjoyable year. It was all about the Rotary motto of service above self. That was followed by becoming district governor in 1987, 1988. And that year was a very, very busy year. Unlike a lot of people who serve as district governor, I did not wait until I retired, but I did it while working at the Upper Valley Joint Vocational School District. But that year was a special year for a couple of reasons. When Rotary International served 100 years and wanted to celebrate that anniversary of service, they made the decision that Rotary would give the world a gift as a way of celebrating. And that gift was to eradicate the world of polio. So we were busy raising money and getting ready for a project that still goes on. We're not quite finished yet. It's a very, very difficult task, a lot of logistics, a lot of money, but Rotarians specialize in meeting a challenge. In addition, we had another happening during that year. Rotary admitted women for the first time as members. Now, in some countries there was resistance. I suppose it's because of their culture. But in many other countries, women not only joined Rotary, but they were active in Rotary and have gone on to leadership positions. In the Piqua Rotary, our first woman was Mimi Crawford, who later served as one of our outstanding presidents. So as I think back to when Scott Garbry, who sponsored me some 41 years ago as a Rotarian, I've thanked him, but I don't know if I've thanked him enough before he passed on, simply because Rotary has been an outstanding organization. And as I think about Rotary, I don't know that I can ever do enough as a Rotarian to repay what Rotary has done for me. I'm currently serving as a state representative in the Ohio House of Representatives. And this feat of 100 years celebrating an anniversary, the 135th club in Rotary International is the Piqua Club. It's an outstanding record to the degree that the Ohio House of Representatives adopted a resolution of commendation for Piqua Rotarians, what they've accomplished, and what they will accomplish. I have a framed copy of that resolution, which I will be presenting to the Piqua Rotary Club. So as we think about Rotary, service above self, there's no doubt that what Rotary has accomplished and what Rotary will accomplish has been an asset to every community, whether you're talking about Piqua, the state of Ohio, the United States, or the some 160 plus countries where Rotary clubs are present. When good things happen, Rotarians are involved. So as we celebrate 100 years of service, we're already looking forward to the next year of service and all the years to follow, so that Rotary can continue to provide the kinds of things that communities deserve and the special services that Rotarians are capable of providing. So, happy anniversary, Piqua Rotary Club. And I'm hopeful that we will do what Rotary clubs really don't do, Rotarians don't really do. And that's, even though we work hard, we accomplish, we don't really try to receive credit. But I think we all deserve a pat on the back for all that has happened because of Rotary.
Hi, I'm Tony Wendelin, a trustee and treasurer of the Piqua Rotary Scholarship Fund. The Rotary Scholarship Fund was founded in 1941 by Cecil Sims, George Rundle, and Leon Kester, 3 past presidents at the time. It was started out as a loan fund and quickly became a scholarship fund and continues today. It's guided by 5 trustees, myself, Cliff Alexander, Mike Yanesy, Ernie Tinkler, and Doug Hume. Currently, we're able to award 8 $1,000 scholarships each year to Piqua students from Piqua High School, Lehman High School, and the Career Center. And it helps them with their first year of college. I joined Rotary in 1982 and was president for the 89-90 year, which was the year we celebrated our 75th anniversary. I remember our gala featured the awarding of 2 Paul Harris Awards that year, one to Harry Oda and one posthumously to Oscar Baker, and his wife Jo was there to accept. The Rotary International motto that year was "Enjoy Rotary," and so we did. We dreamed up fundraising contests on the World Series, the Super Bowl, the Bengals-Browns games, and we even had a weekly split the pot. Our club attendance record typically put us in the top 10 out of the 50 clubs in the district. So in April, we made a game out of trying to get 100% attendance for the 1 month, and we coerced everyone into making up if they happened to miss a meeting that month. We were successful, and I'm sure the other clubs in the district were scratching their heads wondering how in the world Piqua got 100%. My year ended historically as we inducted our first female member into the Piqua Rotary Club. In May of 1990, Cliff Alexander sponsored his son John and daughter Mimi, and we inducted them as new members into the Piqua Rotary Club at that time. I've enjoyed my 32 years as a Piqua Rotarian, and I'm proud of the contributions we've made to Piqua. I'm sure we have many more bright years to come. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Loretta Henderson, and I'm the principal at Nicklin Learning Center. Our partnership with the Piqua Rotary Club began about 20 years ago. Back in 1995, Jerry Clark, a Rotarian and superintendent of Piqua City Schools, and Lou Anderson, the principal of Nicklin, established opportunities for the club members to read to the students at Nicklin. With literacy as a mission of the Piqua Rotary Club, this became a perfect fit. When Piqua City Schools reorganized and Teresa Anderson became the principal, the partnership grew. Nicklin became a kindergarten center. Your journey begins here was our theme. The Rotary Club purchased the train in the front of Nicklin to symbolize that journey. The Rotarians worked with Mrs. Anderson to help improve attendance by hosting pizza parties each quarter for any student who had perfect attendance. They wanted to make sure that they got books into the hands of our Nicklin students. Monthly, the Rotary Club would come to Nicklin and have a birthday celebration and give each child a book. Volunteers from the Rotary Club assisted with family events at Nicklin and are still doing that, such as our Breakfast with Santa. Rotary readers come to Nicklin and they move from classroom to library so they could impact more students at a time. More mentoring opportunities were created with lunch buddies. Rotary volunteers would come to Nicklin and eat lunch with a student that they were mentoring. They would also have time to play games and spend time with them mentoring. Several tree dedications by the Rotary Club provide shade in the front of Nicklin. As the current principal of Nicklin Learning Center, I have been fortunate enough to carry on this partnership with the Rotary Club. Opportunities for volunteering as well as providing financial support for our students has been very important to Nicklin and the Rotary Club. Continuing traditions of the weekly Rotary Readers, birthday books, and support at family events has been an integral part of the partnership. The Rotary Club has also provided funding for many events and activities here at Nicklin, such as our Bruckner Nature Center Animal Talks, 100th Day Celebration, the Madcap Puppet Theater Artist in Residence program, and costumes for our spring musicals. The support from the Rotary Club goes even deeper. They've provided funds to help provide students with items that they need, such as jackets, hats, mittens, and clothing. The Miami County Dental Clinic provides students in the Piqua City Schools dental care. They come into the schools and give preventative and restorative services so our students do not have to miss a day of school to have dental work done. The Rotary Club purchased a new dental chair for the clinic and gave Nickland students a new toothbrush twice a year. Also in conjunction with the Miami County Dental Clinic, the Rotary Club members volunteer their time during Nickland's screening and registration process. They make sure each child has had their teeth examined while they are at screening. The club members not only support our students at Nickland, but also our staff. Each year, the club provides teacher luncheons during Teacher Appreciation Week. It's a great opportunity for club members to get to know the staff at Nickland and to recognize them for their work and dedication. As the Piqua City Schools begin to reorganize into our new buildings, I am looking forward to working with the Rotary Club to continue to forge and build our partnership with the Piqua City Schools. That didn't come out right, damn it.
You can do that last part again if you like.
I would really appreciate it because it was not okay.
Okay. Amazing, you're like.
As the Piqua City Schools reorganize into the new buildings, I am looking forward to working with the Rotary Club and to continue to forge and build the partnership with us.
Hi, I'm Mike Gutman, a member of the Piqua Rotary Club, and this is my father, Paul Gutman.
How do you do?
And we're just going to talk a little bit today and have a conversation about Rotary and what it's meant to us, being a father and son in Rotary, and over the years, what Rotary has done and meant kind of in our professional and personal lives. So, Dad, when did you join Rotary, if you recall?
I joined Rotary early in the 1960s.
Okay.
Bill McCulloch was our first Rotarian from our law firm, and he joined in the 1940s area.
Right.
Bob Fight in the 50s, myself in the 60s, and yourself?
In the 90s.
90s.
Okay.
Okay, and we've had other attorneys. Tom Beaker was in Rotary for a while and still is, and Jack Newen, Schwander.
Dan Raymer.
Dan, oh gosh, yeah.
And Frank Patrizio. So our firm's been well represented in Rotary over the years. And I know, looking back at some of the past history, there was a lot of focus on classification, and they really wanted kind of one leading citizen from each profession or business. Is that right?
That's correct. There was even some contention in Rotary about who would be admitted and who. We were only to have one banker, so the bankers sort of kidded each other about one being in Rotary and another not. But those rules changed because the emphasis now, I think, is not so much on classification, but rather on quality of the persons chosen to become Rotarians.
Good, that makes sense. So that's opened it up for multiple persons in each profession and to increase the membership in Rotary.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. And another common thing we have in common is that we've both been president of the Rotary Club in the past. I think you were president in 1970 and 71.
Yes.
And what do you recall from that time when you were president, what the club was doing, what was going on that was interesting?
During that time, attendance was particularly important. And we had a secretary who was our secretary for many years who insisted that you attend every week. Now, it didn't happen, but he pushed, and
Right.
he'd call you if you weren't there. We missed you at Rotary today. And so that was good. I know, let's see, who has been our recent promoter of attendance?
Well, it's been different people. Tony Wendland keeps track of it somewhat, but it's not as strongly, pushed. We'd like, in fact, this October we're now doing 100% Rotary, so we'll see how we do this October. But I recall too that my early days of Rotary, that a lot of people would come back from trips and they would make up Rotary even when they were on business trips in foreign countries, and they'd bring back a flag. And so, do you recall those days as well?
I do.
Yeah.
I had good opportunity to travel in in Chile, where our son Ted was.
Okay.
And I made up Rotary there. Some of Rosemary's family in Germany made up Rotary there.
Okay.
I would take a picture, have her take a picture of myself at a Rotary sign outside a meeting place.
Okay.
So
That's good proof of attendance anyway.
it is. That's the best proof. That has slacked off somewhat
Yeah.
now, but attendance was quite important.
Mm-hmm. Good. And you mentioned being in Chile, and my brother Ted and your son obviously has been in Chile as a missionary for a long time, and I think one thing we've tried to do, since Rotary has an international service component, is to incorporate some of his work. And I think the first project was they had they planted walnut trees, and he helped this cooperative group of gentlemen there plant walnut trees. And I don't know if you ever saw any of those or were down there.
We did.
Okay.
We saw the product itself. The trees started out as maybe 6 or 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
And you think of a walnut tree as growing very slowly.
Okay.
But these are special walnut trees,
Yeah.
and they produced within 3 years, produced
Okay.
walnuts.
Wow. And then I think we did the beekeeping project. So Ted is in a cooperative with beekeepers, and they were trying to market their honey, which is a good quality honey, to the local people in their region. And we've sampled that, which has been pretty good.
Yes, he does well in the honey business.
Yeah.
And we've had great assistance from the Rotary Club.
Mm.
They have been so generous, encouraging Ted with his
Right.
endeavors and his family. And he has returned, in a way, a lot of good publicity,
Right.
frankly, for Rotary.
I know his latest project, he's working on a water project, irrigation, getting water to the farmers so that they can grow their local crops and produce. So
When Ted first went to South America, he was trying to produce a supply of water.
Mm-hmm.
They started out hand digging some wells.
Okay.
And then they were able to get a pump the water out.
Right.
Then they went to an irrigation system.
Mm.
Out, so they get the water out of the river, and again, Rotary's been so helpful in
Good.
that.
Yeah. I guess another thing that I remember from my childhood is that when you were in Rotary, that a men's chorus from Japan came to the United States and was touring, and Sam Heitzman was instrumental in bringing this choral group to Piqua. And there were, I think, 50 or 60, or it was a large group, or maybe more.
Closer to 100.
100? Okay.
Yeah.
And then each of the Rotarians put up the Japanese tour, so young men in their homes, and it was a real experience to kind of learn from them, or a little bit about their culture, and then their performances were really well received in Piqua, that I remember.
Right, yes. And we have a book on that.
Okay.
And I'm not sure who has it now, but there is such a book
Okay.
with a lot of photographs.
Good. Well, I think it just points out that, I mean, Rotary has ties across a lot of, our lives and history, and Piqua's history, and it's been a pleasure to be part of it, and hopefully we can continue for many more years.
Yes, Rotary is divergent in activities, in people, and whenever someone, and you alluded to this a bit ago, goes to a sort of distant land, they're supposed to bring back, and usually do, a flag from another Rotary club somewhere.
All right.
Encourages interaction between
Right.
Rotary clubs.
Yeah, I think that happened a lot when you had people from French Oil that traveled and went to many places in Asia and Europe and brought back
that's a
with
good example
their
of it,
operations.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's good catching up, and we'll sign off.
Hello, I'm Mimi Crawford, and I'm here with my father, Clifford Alexander.
Hi.
We're here to discuss a little bit, just chat a little bit about Rotary, and this year's Rotary's 100th anniversary for the Piqua Club, so it's an exciting time for us, and we both have some fond memories of our Rotary experience and still active in the club. Dad, why don't you tell me a little? Do you remember when you first started? What got you involved in Rotary?
Oh, gosh, it's been so long I can't remember, but somebody invited me to a meeting, And the next thing I knew, I was involved, and my father was a Rotarian, but he passed on many years ago. But I was aware of Rotary at the time, and so I was glad to become a Rotarian myself.
And you were one of the past presidents, as I recall.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was very proud to present to Rotary my daughter as the first female Rotarian. And
was back
Mike
in
Yanesey and I kind of engineered that thing.
You sure did.
And we were not only successful in our efforts, Mimi was later successful in bringing more people and more ladies into Rotary and becoming our first female president. And so it's been a great joy to me.
It has been really a terrific joy. You know, I'm mindful of when that happened, and it was not the most popular decision at the time. It took a lot of courage on your part.
Yeah, we had a couple people that were upset, and
yes, we did. Hey, and we only lost a couple, so you know that wasn't too terribly bad.
Yeah,
but,
we lost 2. We started to lose 3, and the third guy really changed his mind.
Yeah, he did.
I think he got to know Mimi a little bit, and
we worked together, this gentleman, for quite some time, and you know, that's kind of, I guess, one of the things I'm so tickled by, that you know, it was opinions at the time, I guess, that women should be outside of the business community, and they should not be involved in such activities as a Rotary Club, which was notoriously a men's club. But you know, what an honor to be able to be a mind changer. And for this gentleman, we worked together. He had such a reversal that it actually broke into tears. And so, for someone to have that kind of an emotional, you know, you know, response to that, it just really kind of warms my heart. But I hope that sentiment has changed, and I think it has.
Oh, it has.
A good bit of our club, I'd say probably 40% of our club is women now, and you know, there's no corner on the market on compassion, and I think that's kind of what Rotary's all about. It's about people that you know, spread kindness and do it by not only their good deeds within the community, but such a worldwide, global, you know,
it's
reach.
a global effort,
And,
no doubt about it.
The opportunities abound. We were fortunate during my tenure anyway, and I'm not certain, yes, I do know, when your tenure, we were able to have exchange students, and one of those exchange students, you remember, was from Rhodesia at the time.
That's right, Sue Harvey.
Sue Harvey, that's right, that's exactly right, yeah, that's her name, Sue Harvey.
Quite an experience having Sue.
Sure was. I was a little kid at the time, and it started that whole idea of understanding, and I think that's the motto really of Rotary, is peace through understanding. And there's no question there's different cultures, and we discovered that, but we also through awareness became you know, very fond and consider a part of our family. So
absolutely.
But
I worried about her dating.
Yeah, well, Mom and Dad
Mimi
were a long
was too
ways
young
away.
for me to worry about Mimi. Later I found out what real worry was about, but I worried about Sue, and we took good care of Sue. And
we sure did.
She was a wonderful gal, and golly, but she was a tall gal. She was just about 6 foot.
Fine tennis player.
And an excellent tennis player.
Tennis player.
She made the boys' tennis team right away.
Yeah.
And never knew a stranger. I mean, she could get along in any environment. So it was a joy to have her. I think we got more out of it than she did, really.
Well, I think so, and we've been fortunate as a community to sponsor several people from Piqua to be able to travel abroad. I think Susie and Wayne Pope's daughter is one example of someone that really took advantage of the experience. I know the last one was France. I can't remember where she went before, but she really, I think, grew into what has really become a career passion for her.
For travel.
And international studies was created through her abilities to be able to travel abroad. So it's a really pretty neat thing that that Rotary does. Now, one of the, I think, most well-known objectives of Rotary is to eradicate polio.
Right.
And of course, recently we've seen some outbreaks, but boy, we're just this
We're so close
to getting
We're so
that
close. Yeah.
accomplished. So we hope that that can be achieved, and you know, many of the initiatives, and that being one of them, I know Bill Gates got behind and was willing to match monies to the Rotary Foundation.
That was tremendous.
But
And we had certainly what had a huge impetus on our club was that we had a Rotarian with polio.
We sure did, yeah.
And a fellow by the name of Dick Shanley, and he was just a fine individual, but boy, I mean, polio got him when he was 16. And I remember him as a sophomore running track, and he was a long-legged guy, and he could leap over those tall hurdles.
Right.
Not just the low hurdles, but he hit the high hurdles and whipped right over them. And then the next year, he couldn't walk. Yeah. And boy, that was tough for him to go through most of all, but it was awful tough for all of us that knew him too.
Mm-hmm. And he was active in the club.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For a long time.
Absolutely.
Very active in the club. And I think he was even a speaker at one time. You know, we meet of course, weekly and have some pretty engaging speakers, but he was one that I particularly remember, and I think it's just because of being so close to us as a family friend.
Yeah.
But
what a terrible, terrible disease.
Sure
and
is.
To think that Rotary's had so much in the forefront to eradicate.
Yeah.
That's really something that as Rotarians we can be proud of.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, just about any really world need, it's pretty fascinating that we find where there's a real cause, there's a Rotarian.
There's a Rotarian.
There really typically is, whether it be, you know, to have clean water or sanitation or education. We've had I know Piqua was involved in the books project. I think we supplied books for some kids in Guatemala. I think Scott Miller, it was Guatemala or Chile. I can't recall the country at this time.
Chile,
it might have been.
Yeah.
But we hand delivered all these books to these young kids so that they could get an education. So
well, we like to live our motto as Rotarians: service above self.
Yes.
And that's a pretty good model to have.
Sure is. Sure is. And I'm like you. I'm very thankful to be a part of this club. I wish the best for the next 100 years, and we're honored to serve, and hopefully we can make some changes, not only here in this community. One thing we didn't talk about before we sign off, though, we certainly have done a lot of scholarships through Rotary, haven't we?
Oh, that's true.
And I think you were one of the founding people that started that foundation, the Scholarship Foundation.
Well, it's always been an important program as far as I'm concerned, and the more education we can deliver to our students, the better. And it's proved out over the years that we've seen a lot of kids that went on through 4 years of college that
came back, and some of them are Rotarians.
Yeah, some of them are Rotarians.
Back into Rotarians, so.
But they wouldn't have had a chance if it hadn't been some help that some Rotarians gave them.
That's true. That's true. Well, it's been an opportunity for me to meet a lot of really terrific people. I've been able to create a lot of friendships through Rotary, a lot of fond memories, and I'm just very honored to be with this, and that I wasn't blackballed. But I do think it was because my father was in Deutscher, and as his insurance policy, he had my brother run on the same ticket, for truth be known. So if they were going to vote me down, they had to vote my brother down too.
That's right. If they wanted to get him,
I was kind of riding on the coattails to be. He was kind of tricky that way.
Yeah. Well, hey. You know Mike honestly enough to know he can be pretty tricky too.
Oh, he sure can.
And we kind of sat down together and worked a plan out, the whole program, and so.
Well, the best was, not only was I able to be the first female Rotarian, but at the time, some of them didn't want me because they said they like to tell dirty jokes. So I did not fall to this temptation to stand up and tell a dirty joke. But it was about maybe after I started Rotary, about 5 months, I did stand up and said, guess what? We're going to have a Rotary baby.
Yeah,
the first Rotary baby. And boy, that really drew some ire. I mean, there were some people that didn't know how to take that. But then about 22 years later, after Rotary gave birth to their first child, she came back and was a speaker, speaking about her time spent in Australia. So that was a pretty nice way to fulfill the circle, I guess, there. So,
yeah.
But that was a fun day when I got to announce that we're having a Rotary.
The Rotary baby, that was really great.
Yeah.
But we won over.
We did.
We had one particular fellow by the name of Jack Hepler. He had the restaurant here in town.
Yeah.
And Jack was been a Rotarian forever, and his father had been a Rotarian.
Yeah.
And they never had women in Rotary. And Jack was really opposed to women in Rotary. And so he and I had long talks. And
won him over.
And yeah, I mean, he just about went to tears over the Mimi being the first Rotarian female issue, and that was great. Jack was just a fine fellow, and boy, when he was awfully hard to convince, but when he became convinced, he became convinced. And the case of, I think, meeting the first female candidate, I think that helped a lot, that it was Mimi. So I think she won him over, and we weren't going to get the job done if Jack didn't agree to it. So once he was on my side, I knew I was in pretty good shape. And I don't think we had, I think it was a total yes vote. I don't think that we had a no vote in the House.
Well, it was a great time, great experiences, and I certainly have learned an awful lot. So, hey, let's keep making an impact. What do you think?
Well, that's right. There are a lot of things that we can do, and
yeah, sure is.
Piqua Rotary is so active, and I see no reason why it can't go on.
I see no reason either. We've got very fine leadership, I believe, and where there's a need, as I say, there's a Rotarian. So, well, it's just been a terrific opportunity to be here and celebrate, and we'll certainly wish to have as many people join our club as possible. We welcome everyone. So
that's right.
Thank you.
That's right. Thanks for inviting us.
Yes.